All right, guys, welcome back here. And this week we're going to talk about the Unity building blocks that Unity released about a month ago. And this is going to be the replacement for the multiplayer widgets that came with the multiplayer services and the multiplayer center. This is going to be built with UI toolkit, so it's going to be a lot more customizable and extensible than the widgets ever were. These are going to be on the asset store, and there are a number of these that they've got created with more to come here. We can see here on the Unity publisher page here, you've got building blocks for matchmaking, multiplayer sessions, player accounts, leaderboards, and achievements. And there's more that they've planned to release here. This is going to be kind of a start of a series that I'm just going to start with the multiplayer sessions, just because that's a bit quicker to get something up and going here. All of the building blocks have documentation out there in the main Unity docs here. It's pretty nice. They're not in the package manager like the widgets were, so hopefully these will be able to get updated more regularly than packages do. So we're going to start with the multiplayer services building blocks and sessions. But first, let's go through some of the prerequisites here. And it is going to be Unity 6.0 or later. And you'll need to have your project set up with the dashboard and the services set up. When you install this package, you're going to get session settings, scriptable object, and there's also a quick join session options that we'll look at as well. This is built with UI toolkit, so you'll have various visual elements that you can put together into your UI, and these are going to be referencing the session type instead of the session name, and we'll show you how to bind that up to the UI. This will work just fine with multiplayer play mode. I think by default you can have it log in anonymously. When we get to the player accounts building blocks, we'll show how to log in with the Unity player accounts or with email and password. All right, that being said, we won't go through all of these, but you do have join by browsing, join by code, quick join, and a quick join debug with session info. We're not going to go over all of the different elements that you can, that comes with the package, but I'll show you what they actually look like in the UI builder here. You don't have to join a netcode session when you start a session, and just start it without connecting to the network. So this, you can do something like a lobby setup where you join the lobby and then start a network session. And then we got some shooting. All right. Let's hop over into Unity and get something built here. So once you install the package here, you'll get everything will be put into this blocks folder. I have all of the current blocks installed. So we have the achievements, sessions, leaderboards, matchmaking. But we're going to focus on the multiplayer sessions right now. And this scene here is the join by browsing. And you've got the session settings, scriptable object here. The session options, you can choose your max players for your lobbies, the session name, and the session type. The session type is the important part here. Session name is just what's going to show up in the session browser, but the session type here is going to be what you actually join and leave sessions with. We'll look at some of that code in a minute here. This will also let you create the network session or not. Since this sample scene doesn't have a network manager, we're just going to uncheck this. So we don't have a network type. You can connect directly with the relay or through distributed authority. But for now, we're just going to uncheck this. When we get to a scene with a network manager, we can check this to automatically create a network session. This will work with netcode for game objects or netcode for entities, whichever one you have installed. This is the quick join settings. Once we get into, we'll make a UI that can do quick join real quickly. And this will have the timeout that it will spend looking for a session. If it doesn't find one, we can have it create a session. So kind of a quick join or create. Okay, so let's look at this scene here. We have a single prefab. This prefab comes with the package here. It's one of the only prefabs that is in here. And this is just setting up the services. So we can have it initialize on start. We have some events for when it's initialized or when it fails, and also player authentication. So we can have it a custom profile if you want to do multiple runs on a computer. You'll have to change the profile if you're building this out. Otherwise, you can just sign in anonymously. When you sign in anonymously, this is a anonymous profile per project. So for the main editor, this will be one user, and then for player 2 and each of the multiplayer play mode sessions, they are their own project. So they'll be a separate user here. So here, once we hit play, it is going to automatically initialize and sign in anonymously. It's going to get our player name. If we don't have a player name, it'll generate one for us. So here, it's got me already signed in. You can change your player name here if you want, even before you connect to anything. And over here in our player 2, we've got a separate name here. So here in player 2, we're going to just create a session, our list, and this is our name with our 150 players that we had set up in the session options. Here I can click on this and I can join. And then we see our 2 players. We see our network join code. If you want to copy here and send that out in Discord or whatever, you can do that. So the UI toolkit here in our session browser, we have our UI document and the panel settings. Panel settings have a theme built in, and this theme is what dictates what the UI actually looks like. You can change your theme to another theme if you want to totally change the look of your UI. We'll show that more in a second. All right. So let's actually just create a new bit. And this is just going to be just if you want to have a quick join and leave button just to start testing stuff. can do that in our scene. Okay. So we have a network manager here that is just going to set up to spawn a network player. And we're going to have a quick join UI menu here. We'll dump this in scripts, code. We're going to delete this. Save. All right. So for UI toolkit, you need to put everything in a container first. So the first thing you'll do is just grab a visual element here. And I want to make this a blocks modal. And we are going to add one of selectors for our visual element. And this is going to see which. Okay, so this is the USS file for our different modals here. And these are just going to be kind of preset styles for the menus that we're going to. This will give us a background color of this CSS variable, which is in, so this is in the core USS. This is just a list of all of the variables that we have access to. And for this is our background color, which is going to be a dark gray, slight transparency. Now we have a border radius, which will give us nice rounded corners here. Justification, alignment, padding, all that stuff. But this class name here is what's going to be important. So we need to apply this to our element. And here we are just going to add this list. So this is actually going to take up the entire screen, which we don't actually want. So we can change let's add our different buttons here first. So you won't see the blocks here under the standard controls. They'll be under project. So here under the project, we have our different UXML files, which here in the blocks, these will be kind of the full UI documents that they built for you. So these can be templates that you can just drag in if you want some more fully created UI objects. We just want a button, so we can go down here in the custom controls. We can scroll down to our sessions, and then we have the different individual elements that we have. One important thing here, to see these elements in their style, you need to make sure that your UI theme here is set to block runtime theme, or one that is inheriting it. So I think by default it will start as Cinema Machine runtime, I believe. And that will not apply any of these styles here. They just look kind of default buttons and other elements here and whatnot. But to see it properly, we'll need it to be in block runtime thing. Set this to. So we're just going to do a quick join. And here we'll just slap this visual element in the visual element. And we'll also have a lead button that we'll put next to it. So here, you can have them just next to each other vertically. I like doing it horizontally here. All right, and then we can change the size of our menu just so it's not crazy. We'll make this as a percent. Right. Something like this. Okay. So in the quick join, you can see this kind of purplish cylinder. This means that this attribute here is bound to another value. This is set in code here for this particular one, which is why it's grayed out. We can also bind our session settings and our quick join settings if you want. You can also just drag the scriptable objects into these, but you can also just click the little 3-dot value here. Then we can find sessions. This is the session settings. That work. Session setting, player session here, and then our target is just going to be to target. And we can do the same thing for our quick join settings. Okay. And now we don't have to worry about accidentally changing these or anything like that. And so you'll see this white bar here. This means that the attribute here has been manually set inline style. This will override anything that you have in your theme. So we can actually just unset that to make sure it doesn't get overridden. Session. Okay. And there is no auto saving here for the UI builder, at least not yet. So just to make sure that you are saving just in case crashes. And for the leave session here, this is going to be leaving the session type. And you can just type this in if you want, but we're going to bind this to the scriptable object for session. Make sure you get the right session asset. And the data source path is going to be the session type. Is a string. Right, that's going to be saved to our target. So now, whatever we have in our session settings will be reflected in the session button here. So you don't have to worry about mistyping things multiple times. Okay. So yeah, that's basically all we need here. So if we take our join UI here, throw it into our UI document here, test here, aspect ratio, percent, I think, good. Something like that's fine. Okay. So now in our session settings, we want to create a network session this time. This should work. 5 seconds. Go. Can join again. Should to see start. Oh, I forgot to save the scene. Now it'll show up for the clone project. Okay. Let's try this again. All right. Yeah. Okay. Not sure why the player name is not showing up. But all right. Yeah, that's all it takes to get quick join up and running. The other elements worked just as fine here. I could show the themes here. So here is the block runtime theme. There's a default theme that gets inherited, plus any style sheets can get applied to this theme. What I did was I made a separate theme up here called session theme. And this just has a style sheet that we are changing the font here, font definition, and also we just change the background to a bright red color. And we also change the table container. Sure why. But if we double click on here, you can just see it in the preview. If you change this to our session theme, you can see it change the color and our font. If we open up any of these other ones, like our going by browsing here, we change the fonts to everything. So if you have background images that you wanted to change for like a holiday theme, you want your Christmas theme, you can do that very easily. And if you wanted to change it at runtime here, you can change the theme for the panel settings here. Save the scene. Quickly here before we go, and check out some of the code here. So for each visual element here, got a couple join scene runtime join. So each element has a constructor here. So this is going to be the quick join button. This class here is just putting together the actual element, assigning it the class for your themes, and registering all the callbacks, our click function here. And each one also has a view model. So the quick join view model here, the view model is the actual logic behind the control. So this is going to be listening through the session observer, which is a class from the multiplayer sessions package. This is just listening to various events for the session started and session moved, I believe, is on here. And that's just going to control whether you can click the button or not. Session leave has something similar. That's why it is grayed out before you join and active after you join, respectively. And basically, once you click on it, it is going to start the matchmake session or quick join. This is just the standard multiplayer services quick join function call. You just call matchmake session. You pass in your quick join options and your session options. And really that's it. So it's not doing anything really special. This is something that you could have already done, but they're just doing this for you. And yeah, like all of the different elements here. They all have an element class and then the view model class. So you can go through all of these and see how they work. You can strip them down, rebuild them if you want to, and not have to worry about it. So yeah, that's really about it for the session building blocks. I'm not going to go through all of them, but next time we are going to look at the player authentication, player accounts blocks here. And that is going to be count. Yeah, I gotta change that color. So this is going to be signing in anonymously, signing in with Unity, and then signing in with a username and password. So we'll look through all of that and see how that works next time. If you guys have got any questions or anything else that you'd like to see demonstrated with the session blocks, we can revisit it later. But yeah, just leave a comment below, and we will see you guys next time.